So what do you call yourself? Welcome to the LaTangela Show.
Hey, what can I do for you this fine day?
This is your destiny. Hot, hot, hot.
Right now.
Welcome to the LaTangela Show.
Kick it.
Come on in and enjoy yourself.
Right now.
We gon' party like no one else. Welcome to the LaTangela Show.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Well, good. Hey, what's really good? It's your girl LaTangela, and thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to hang out with me for another episode of the LaTangela Show. Well, we'll chit about this and we'll chat about that. You know, I am the queen of random research. Yes, I always dig deep to see which side of the survey will you pop up on. Yay, nay, somewhere between here and there. That's usually where you can find me, right? And you know, throughout the week, there are so many different ways for us to stay connected. Monday through Fridays, I am the voice inside your speaker box. Baton Rouge's official #1 for hip hop and R&B. Max 94.1 from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can always find all of my social media links and handles from the Twitter alerts, Instagrams, Facebook, Clubhouse, whatever links you're using, LinkedIn. Let's get connected. You can find it all at latangela.com. Now, today, I am going to give you the inside scoop. I will also give you the did you know news briefs. I will also break you off with some facts, and I'm going to give you the inside scoop behind the scene coverage with some of my friends. Now, it's no secret that TVOne, they've been a trusted source for entertainment for years, for many years. And this round, I'm going to give you the tan line. And on that tan line, it is none other than some of my faves. We have Vince Valazquez and David Quinn. Now, they're the stars of the hit series entitled ATL Homicides. Not only do I like the show, I'm addicted. I'm addicted to the whole process, but even more so to their thought process of how important it is for the cops to be as one with the community. They can't do this work alone. How important it is to actually get closure for the families and maybe even some police reform, starting from not just the community, but to each individual cop and leadership. I had a lot of questions that need answers, and we're going to fill it in with the inside scoop. Now, if we're asking questions that need answers, COVID, what is it looking like in your area? It's alarming, very much so. A lot of people are talking about the vaccine. I have questions that need answers with that as well. Are you in line? Are you trusting it? Has it been researched enough to support one way or the other? But then again, are you even still social distancing? Because I'm riding around town just seeing what I can see, and I see too many places wide open, too many people piled into one space, not enough face coverings, not enough face masks. Social distancing is just like not even a part of the conversation. And I'm like, are we really trying to get towards those healthier days a lot faster? Or are we just tired of it and we're just going to live our best lives at any cost? I need to know. Of course, you can always log on to cdc.gov and they'll have some information there for you on some of the safety tips and some of the updates as far as the research and where we stand. It's an issue. It's a really big issue. And you know, want ads. I really want to help someone get this job. I wanted to apply myself, but my dentist told me, nah, Tan, I want you to sit this one out. According to my friends over at Delish, there's a company that is hiring a full-time candy taster. I don't have time to make this stuff up. And not only are they hiring full-time candy tasters, but they're prepared to pay you $24 an hour. What? I'm down. A company called Candy Funhouse is looking to hire a candy and chocolate taste tester. Could it be you? Now, this isn't one of those gimmicks. You know, sometimes people will be like, oh, you know, we're going to hire you the first. No. This is legit. The company said that they're going to hire someone for $500 to eat chocolate for a week. I mean, I could do that, especially if you catch me on one of those weeks where I'm cramping, attitude is not adjusting correctly because I need more chocolate. Yeah, $500 a week. It's a legit full-time job. The job pays $24 an hour, which works out to around $47,500 a year. Yes, I did the math. And they'll be hiring 2 people for it. So 2 full-time positions. Now, if you are interested, here's the kicker. You have to relocate. Now you'll have to relocate to Canada, and that $47,500 then equates to about $60,000 Canadian cash. But you know, they said that the cost of living may not be worth the effort. To who? To who? I'm down for a field trip. I really am. And chocolate. And some candy. Well, if moving there for you is a okay, legit move, you might want to just go ahead and sign up. I have the information posted for you on my website at LaTangela.com. But Candy Funhouse, I appreciate you for even thinking to put this on the won't ads. All applications are due by February 15th, the day after Valentine's Day. Yeah. When candy is half off. I already know, because I started walking up and down the aisles early so I could stuff my favorite candies behind the toys that I know nobody's going to buy. Listen, you have to look out for yourself. That's what the single do. We look out for ourselves. What candy do you want? Yeah, girl, I got you. I'm going to hide it behind something that I know, like on one of those as seen only on TV ads. Nobody ever shops on that rack. So you'll find some extra turtles stuffed in the back, courtesy of Tan. I'll be there on the 15th. Half off. And on the 16th, we know the candy is 75% off. I know this. Don't judge me. Well, you know what? Zippia has figured it out. Some of us just have a lot of pet peeves. You get aggravated with people and their habits, and some things just work your last nerve. Well, according to Zippia, they've done a survey, and they were asking different people in different states, what's your pet peeve? And they have the top pet peeves per states. A study looked at the top pet peeves in all 50 states, and slow internet came in topping the list. I'm with it. Slow internet is #1 overall, and it was the biggest pet peeve in 15 states, including Arizona, California, Colorado, Idaho, Indiana, Iowa, Maine, Minnesota, Missouri, New Mexico, Oregon, Utah, Vermont, Washington, and Wisconsin. Say, look, I don't know who your provider is, but your carrier needs to tighten up with this slow internet, okay? Coming in at #2, burping. Why I need to know you burping? Like, could you lower that belching tone just a tad? Coming in on the top pet peeves in all 50 states surveyed, burping won 11 states. Alabama, Kansas, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Oklahoma, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, and Tennessee. Well, when someone else's kids won't behave, won 7 states. Let me see what states hit this. Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Michigan, North Carolina, Texas, and Virginia. Okay, bragging is a pet peeve that won 5 states. Connecticut, Louisiana, Mississippi, Montana, and North Dakota. Littering won 4 states in Arkansas, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. Trying to keep it nice and tidy if you don't mind. Could you pick that up? Pick it up. Thank you. Thank you. Public displays of affection won 3 states. Hawaii, Nevada, and New Hampshire. Ain't nobody got time for all that. Okay, yeah, you love them. All right, okay, cool. You like them. All right, whatever. Say that for later. Now, 5 pet peeves got 1 state each. Nebraska, laziness. Alaska, nail biting. Wyoming, passive aggressive behavior. Maryland, being too pessimistic. And the only state where traffic is the top pet peeve is Delaware. I just knew that would be Louisiana. When you start talking about traffic, like, really? Bragging. I can't even believe that made our list. That's all they do in Louisiana. And I don't know why. But, okay. Now, you know, I want you to stay connected because we're going to take us a quick virtual field trip. I am all in the mood of, didn't you get your steps in today? Mental, physical, and spiritual. It's all important. And be it big or small, just find ways to balance through it all, right? So if we're going to do our steps physically, get out, go play, do something that's going to keep you active. I've noticed that now, since I'm in my routine, I'm in my bag, I'm in my swag. You know what I'm saying? Like, get that stress off your chest. Spiritually, making sure that we're tapping into the source while we're unplugging and unwinding and getting our days set. Set the tone. Set the tone, you know? Spiritually, mentally, and physically. Find it.
Questions that need answers. Did you get your steps in today? Mental, physical, spiritual, it's all important. Today, chasing the sun. Sun chasing me. It's all good.
I told her, pretty, what time looking around.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl LaTangela, the voice inside your speaker box. And today on the virtual field trip, I am super excited to have some of the best in the game on the hot line, the tan line, in the hot seat, bringing it to you with Baton Rouge's official #1 for hip hop and R&B. Now, you know, with TVOne, they've been a trusted source for entertainment for years, right? Well, they're not going to disappoint us because now it's almost that time for them to present season 3 of ATL Homicide. And you know, today I want to talk about it with Dave and Quinn, and on the show, Angelo Diaz is on the flashbacks, correct? And then we have Vince Valazquez with Christopher Diaz on the flashbacks, but I got the real deal in the hot seat. How are you?
What's happening? Glad to be on the tan line.
Good afternoon.
Now look, I know that you all have been super busy and you've got to be excited about season 3, getting ready to hit the big screen, but I got questions that need answers. Just watching the show and being so fascinated with the work that you all put in to make a major impact, how did you know that this was the line of work for you, that this was the calling for your life?
That's a great question. First of all, I want to tell you, I want a crystal ball like you have behind you.
Listen, if it doesn't make you disco ball happy, don't show
that.
up.
I love it. You just gave me an idea. I love that. So, Tangi, the question is, how did we know, how did I know this was for me? David and I have two different, our story started in two different directions, but it ended up meeting in the middle. I was an aircraft engineer. I was in the military, fixing fighter jets, Top Gun. I thought I was, you know, going to be, I was living overseas,
Right.
England, Germany. I was living the life, but, you know, you don't really know what happiness is until you really experience it. And you can imagine what it would be like. It's easy to look back at it and go, man, that was a great move. I got out of the military, became a civilian, fixing airplanes for a major airline in Atlanta. That's what took me to Atlanta. But I kept getting pulled into the direction of law enforcement. And I followed
This is
my
a big jump.
big jump, and big jump and a big pay jump in the other direction. And I took a 75% pay cut with a brand new kid, mind you, in 1995 to become a police officer. And in my opinion, was the best thing I ever did. Not only did I feel like I had a good career, I helped a lot of people. I think I served my community, but I got to meet this wonderful dude that I call my partner. And then the magic started happening in the year 2000.
And I see that it is like a family bond, you know, because he refused to do this interview without it. He said, no, wait a second, we can't get started. My partner's on his way.
That's
now,
right.
That's how we knew that you got pulled back into this life and saying, okay, well, you know what, I think this might be the way. But when you start saying a major pay cut, people would really say run in the opposite direction.
People thought I was crazy. They're like, well, let me get this right. You're going to take 75% pay cut. You got a brand new son to become a cop? I said, yeah. Yeah,
I mean, did you have any cops in your family? Was it something that just?
Oh no, we had the other side of law enforcement in my family. We came from the other side of the tracks. So
okay, I got you.
Quite the opposite.
Now that's your story, David. How did you know that this was the life for you?
You know, so in the 70s, I saw most of my cousins and relatives getting loaded into paddy wagons, and I just wanted to see what I could do. So since about age 5 or 6, I wanted to be the police. 2 years after high school, in 1985, I joined the Atlanta Police. Greatest decision of my life. There wasn't a day that I just didn't enjoy it, even though I saw some things that are reprehensible. I love the community. I was in the projects for the first 10 years with my people. I loved the corner store, at the bodega, hanging out. It was different. You know, I was the neighborhood cop and I loved it. So by the time I went to Homicide, it was an easy transition. I knew so many people in the street just from those alliances that I forged over the years. I met my brother from another mother, which was Vince, and we rocked and rolled that thing for the next 19 years and finished off our careers together.
And you brought up a very good point. A lot of the cops now, I see they're very detached from the community. You said that you knew the corner store, so you knew those who were raised on the block. You knew who was going to what school, who was Big Mama to which kid that was cutting up. So community policing and neighborhood policing looked a lot different then than it does now. Do you feel that that disconnect is making it a lot harder, not just for law enforcement, but for the community as a whole?
You know, fully. I mean, I think the policing as we know it, that neighborhood cop thing is gone. We've seen now a more tactical, a more overly paramilitary police department. You know, I was out there with a 6-shooter. That's what they gave me when I went out there. I had a revolver. And
I
I,
told
you know,
you,
I had to use my and a nightstick, and I was out there at night in the dark. I had to have alliances. What police have to do right now is go back into the neighborhood and win one street at a time. If you want to do this job and do it right, win the neighborhood. If you win the neighborhood, you're not going to have anybody tearing nothing up. You're going to have order because they respect you because you respect them. I mean, I never left the hood. I stayed there the first decade, the first 15 years in some of the toughest neighborhoods you would ever visit Atlanta. I mean, it was beautiful though. Great relationships.
Well, see, here in Baton Rouge, it's really tough. You know, our crime rate is crazy. It's January of 2021, and they are popping off with bullets left and right. And I feel for law enforcement. And doing this, I've been in broadcasting for almost 24 years, and reporting the news now, it's more difficult because I either know who did it or who it happened to. But usually on both sides, I know the families that are hurting, especially if it's a child that they have to lay to rest and that homicide goes unsolved. So how important is it that you really get closure for that family? Because I'm watching the shows and I saw the season premiere of the 19-year-old who was, I don't even want to give it away, but it touched me so much because when I saw him and you were like, well, where's the body? Where's the body? And there was no body because he was trying to do something heroic as far as saving others while fleeing the scene. But it's tough. How important is it that you all get in the community and that you solve these homicides to bring some type of closure?
You know, it's paramount, like to solve cases and to give families what they need to move on, heal, right? And become a family again is what we do. That's what we work for. We don't work for the city. We don't even work for each other. Those are our bosses for as long as it takes to get that job done. I have a case that, you know, I think in season 1, we had some behind the scenes footage that TVOne put up that I talk about a case of a young girl in 1995 that was murdered. And to this day, it still remains unsolved. I retired and I was not able to solve that case. And even in retirement, I still work on it. And I keep in touch with that young victim's mother. And so it's important because over the years, I've seen how much grief, how much strain that this mother continually goes through. And that's what our goal is. Our goal is to give them that closure that they can just rest easy. Unfortunately, we don't always have that opportunity. And you mentioned that episode, and you're going to see that, and Dave can talk a little bit more about that, but you're going to see, you know, a father struggling even in his moment of despair, probably knowing he's going to die, still trying to save his family.
Right.
That's sad, but that's the reality of what we dealt with.
And even with the type of guns that he was popped with, you're starting to see these kids younger and younger get access to those type of guns. And if we were to have a roundtable discussion to say, parents, I've done this for so long, I'm now retired, I can give you the game. How would you explain or walk them through a situation to help keep their children away from those type of guns or those type of guns off the streets?
Well, we definitely have a gun violence problem in our community. And, you know, we've got to hold the feet of law enforcement to the fire, and we got to get honest with ourselves about the proliferation of guns in our community. There's too many of them. You know, I'm not anti-gun. I just don't want guns around my children. And I would always stress, you know, you just have to police your children. You got to go back to the 60s and 70s, the way I was raised. And, you know, you got to put some fear in them. I mean, it's not against the law. I know people are afraid to raise their children, but I had 6 of them grew up in here, and you can't keep them away from what's out there. In October of 2020, my own son, who's 26 years old, coming back from the military, was robbed and shot 3 times. Oh, and I got horrible police service, and everybody named Mama know I'm the police. Right. Now, when I showed up on scene, they thought I was ATL Homicides here, or they're gonna solve it. Horrible police department, gave me horrible service. And I'm working right now to bring noise to this horrible investigation for my son, who was almost killed and just this close from being paralyzed. So gun violence, my son grew up in the suburbs. By one visit to an old friend got him fighting for his life in the hospital for weeks. So we got a problem, and it affects me, and we have to charge these police with serving us correctly, which is what I'm in the process of doing now, because I got horrible service.
Right. I'm so sorry to hear that. And, you know, I know saying it and working on it is something completely different, but that's your baby. So now that's your heart walking outside of your chest, looking at it happening and unfolding in your eyes. But this is something that you dedicated your life to. And now knowing that horrible customer service, if you're going through a drive-thru, is bad enough if they forget your French fries or your ketchup. But when somebody's life is attached to that and you feel as if it does not matter, what type a message does that really send? You know, and I appreciate you all so much for taking us behind the scenes and showing us the importance of what goes into an investigation, how it's hard to do it by yourself, and it is important for the community to help. Now, you know, it's big. Stitches and snitches, they go together. Mm-hmm. But if you know something, you should say something. And I'm a big advocate of that because I know that you can't do it alone. How important is it that once we say something, we have the security of knowing that it will not come back in a sense of retaliation for us, because that'll help us solve these crimes a lot quicker.
Yeah, we know we're down the street all the time, and we would knock on doors, and people would know, you know, that they had confidence in us to protect them. There were times, you know, when housing projects, and most of them are gone now, but when we were coming up, they were all over the place. In Atlanta, as I'm sure they are in Baton Rouge back then, early 2000s, late 90s. We had witnesses who wouldn't talk. I mean, we started to think outside the box. Like, who wants to see a guy in a suit and tie knock on a door knowing you're homicide? Nobody's going to come and talk to you, right? We mailed letters. I even sent a taxi one time with my own money to pick up a witness. Mm-hmm. All they look like, anybody seeing them is somebody get into a cab, right? And they came down to the homicide office, gave us the information, and we try to protect them. Now, at the end of the day, if they want to testify, they're going to have to reveal who they are. But a lot of times the information we get, we don't need them to testify. We just need that boost. We need that little bit of that push to get us in the right direction. Because the evidence is like a compass. No matter how you turn a compass, it points north. Truth is the same way. Sometimes we need a little help from the community. So we found a way to do that to where people understood that and had confidence that we're not going to put them out there. You know, they believed in us because it wasn't Detective Quinn, Detective Valazquez. It was Vincent Quinn. That's what we went by. People knew us by our first names.
I love it. Well, Vince and Quinn, y'all are the real MVPs, and don't you dare let them tell you differently. And you already know the season premiere is January 25th. It's going to be at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm going to say 7:30 so we don't show up late. I have my popcorn. I'm going to have my Kool-Aid, the red kind, and my disco ball. Yes. I feel like I want to be one of the honorary detectives because, you know, if I see something, I'm going to say something. And I got you covered. And this is an open door policy. So as soon as outside reopens and you make a field trip to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, you know where to find us. I am grateful for the service that you all have put in. We appreciate you. And I'm super excited about season 3. You hear me?
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much. Love it.
Thank you for having us.
Anytime. And thank y'all so much. God bless. I'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check. Yep. Hey. Na, 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 na. I like to call this some of that feel-good music. Rock with me. Ah, 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 the sunrise and I look into your eyes. Now I feel what I never felt. What a surprise. What a surprise. I searched high and I searched low, 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 low. Been trying to find some peace of mind and a little love. But I never would have thought, turn around and here you go. It's you, all that I've been looking for, peace of love and so much more. Poof. You've been there all along, and I never gotta take this time to say what I'm feeling. Ooh, you have been the missing link to me. Now I can see it all so clear for me. Right by my side from day one. How could I be searching for another one? It's been you and me all along. You've been the inspiration to my favorite song. All that I've been looking for. Peace of love and so much more. You've been there all along, and I never knew. But now I do. Now I do, babe. Now I do, baby. Going over all little stuff, sometimes with no kind of help. Digging through the soul to the core, knowing there's so much more than the block posted right in front of you. Got me praying, asking God, now what we gon' do? People stressing me, got the devil out here just vexing me. I'm trying to rep the yo, tell them let me be. Barriers, I'm breaking barriers. While I'm singing, rhyming and rapping and humming like they never seen it coming. Skipping to the beat of my own drum and yo, they can't tell me nothing. Positive vibes only, or I'd rather sit here lonely. Shout out to the ones who never gave up on me while I'm singing, rhyming and rapping and humming like they never seen it coming. Skipping to the beat of my own drum and yo, they can't tell me nothing. I'm not fighting for attention, I'm my own competition. Yeah, I'd rather sit here lonely. Even when the skies are gray, ain't nothing going your way. You keep your head held high, make them hear you say barriers, I'm breaking barriers. Barriers, barriers. No matter what it looks like right in front of you, near you, it's nothing compared to the visions promised you. You got the cattle on 1,000 hills, a place where broken hearts go to heal. Not quite sure how to really feel. Love versus hate, oh no, it don't relate. I can't hear what you're saying if you're speaking negativity. You're not adding to my creativity. Test me, challenge me, you think that you can handle me?